Okay. Maybe you know what? I think I'll not start this movement. Just let the string start. Then I'll come in sometime later.
It's nice you come in the solo.
Exactly.
Like, allora andiamo da solo.
Okay.
Meglio. No, basta senza frenare, giusti. Immortali colleghi e grandissimi amici. Senza frenare sotto.
Sorry, I get so crazy in this piece. It goes so quick. Wait a minute, I gotta get used to going quick. I didn't, you know, fishing in Ireland and everything is not good for the head, you know.
It's good for the health, however.
Yeah, that's true. Bad for the fish.
Very good. For the head also, it gives you more power after.
Yeah, right, but not for doing this.
And the fish contains phosphorus, very good for the memory.
Ah, I didn't know that. I should have eaten more. I should have eaten more.
More one eats fish and more he memorizes everything. If you eat a lot of fish, you remember everything you did when you were 1 year old.
Ah, just what I need. People say, oh, Vivaldi's all the same. Well, this is not strictly true. I mean, if you really analyze Vivaldi and you get into the mode of Vivaldi, you'll soon see that even his allegros are not all up-tempo. Some of them are extremely happy and bubbly, and some of them are written in the classical music way, where you hear people just churning along there, you know. It's almost functional, but not functional. Thank you.
Don't you rehearse any small thing, or
no? I think I'll just practice a little bit more, and it'll be fine.
When he was in Innsbruck, James Galway's interest in the music making of another age led him to the Baroque Hofkirche, where he had heard there was a 16th century organ still in working order.
It's a bit of a shock, you know, when you come across an organ like I did, 450 years old, when you heard the sort of timbre this organ had. Beautiful. When you heard what it could do, you're really amazed because it's so far away from what happens in organs these days, where people play an organ which is built in 1920, for example, play the same music which was written at the time our Innsbruck organ was built. And even if they try to reproduce that organ, it still doesn't sound like it because there's something in there, has a soul of its own. Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Was war das?
Das war ein Stück von Paul Hofheimer, Zucht, Ehr und Lob.
Aha. Und der seid von dieser
Ja, ja, das ist aus der Zeit dieser Orgel, also Musik, die ca. 440 Jahre alt ist.
Mhm. Mhm. Ein wenig älter als uns.
Ja.
Sehr gut. Können Sie mir irgendwas sagen, was diese Orgel...
Ja, die Orgel besteht aus zwei Teilen, Hauptteilen. Das Hauptwerk, hier oberes Manual und das Rückpositiv, unteres Manual. Dann haben wir noch ein Pedal, das allerdings keine eigenen Register besitzt, sondern immer nur an das Hauptwerk angekoppelt ist.
Aha, aha.
Und die Besonderheit dieser Orgel ist, dass eben ein Großteil der Register wirklich komplett original erhalten ist. Also circa 430 Jahre alt. Zum Beispiel hier der Prinzipal, Oktav, Quint, 2 Fuß. Hier haben wir ein Plenum dieser Orgel, wie es also in der Ende der Gotik, Anfang der Renaissance war. Eigentlich das mittelalterliche Blockwerk. Ja?
Und haben Sie ein besonderes Flötstopp oder irgendwas?
Ja, natürlich. Wir haben 2 Flötenregister, sage ich immer, das ist das schönste Register der Welt.
Schön.
Perhaps because from Mozart on, composers no longer wrote as prolifically for the flute, Galway takes a special interest in the music of the 17th and early 18th centuries, and is continually delving to unearth potential new repertoire. Now he's particularly interested in the compositions for flute by the German composer Johann Quantz. Quantz's patron and pupil was Frederick the Great, ruler of Prussia and amateur flautist.
I was staying at the house of a friend, and he has all these books about the Napoleonic Wars, but in these collection of books, I saw something about Frederick the Great. So I started reading about Frederick the Great, and I ended up buying about 6 books on Frederick the Great. And then I started reading about Quantz, you see, who was his flute teacher. And Quantz was 15 years older than Frederick, and he taught him when he was 15. Now, when Frederick was 15, he'd never been anywhere. You know, and as a matter of fact, his first battle he had when he was 22. But Quantz was already all around the place. He knew all these people like Handel and Bach and everybody. And he knew these really terrific French flute players like Blavet. Blavet was supposed to be the flute player of his time. And he certainly wrote the most beautiful melodies and beautiful sonatas for the flute. And, you know, he must have been like an older brother to Frederick, because Frederick had a horrible relationship with his father. I mean, just disgusting. And Quantz must have been something special for him in his life. And then I got into playing these Quantz concertos, you see, and that... I can go to stop playing the flute and just read history books.